there are certain important traits which are essential for being a successful participant, which are essential for being a successful participant in a group discussion. Full stop. These include the following. These include the following. Number 1. You can give Roman 1 and you can write. This is one of the topic which I'm covering right now. I will try to cover 2 topics together today since we are not having the assessment. Write down positive personality. That is the first important ingredient for success in a GD. Okay, positive personality. That is our first important ingredient. Write down. Group discussion are an effective tool group discussion are an effective tool for assessing the overall personality for assessing the overall personality of the candidate. Full stop. Personality includes not only one's external appearance, personality includes not only one's external appearance, but also the traits one possesses. First, you write this down, then I will explain you what I'm talking about. Okay? One possesses. Full stop. Thus, during group discussion, now whatever I will tell you, you will have to underline those portions. Okay? I will inform you where to start your underlining. Thus, during group discussion, the dressing style, underline, the dressing style, comma, dressing style, comma, speaking style, comma, underline these things. And these are all hyphenated words, okay? Dressing style, speaking style, comma, attitude towards others, presentation style, attitude towards others, presentation style, and so on are evaluated. full stop. During the 25-30 minutes that one is allotted, during the 25 or 30 minutes that one is allotted, comma, one needs to create a favorable impression on the evaluators. Full stop. A pleasing personality makes a favorable impression giving one an edge giving one an edge over the others. Full stop. Now I will explain you this, then I will proceed with the second point. The name itself suggests positive personality. Okay, the name itself gives you a fair idea about the concept that we are talking about. Means that is why when we took assessments for last 2 weeks, whatever assessments we had taken till now, we had completed 2 rounds of our assessment. This would have been our 3rd round. One thing has become very clear to each one of you while you performed. That is, when I am evaluating you people, repeatedly, if you remember, I kept on telling you that you need to be very clear about your content and you should not just read out something, maybe a written paragraph or maybe a Google note. You are not supposed to read out, because why am I telling you? The moment you fumble and the moment your modulation, intonation of your voice, and the moment there is a slight hint of plagiarism which comes into existence while you are explaining or while you are putting forward your content as a participant in a GD, you automatically get negatively evaluated. Did you understand? That is why now, since we are having these classes as online classes and I am not being able to see you. Now, let me tell you this beforehand. Next week when I will take the assessment, this is an information which I'm passing it on to you people, those who are today in the class. Please pass it on to your friends. Next week when I will take the assessment, I would ask you people, those who are turn by turn, not all of you, those who will be speaking, I will ask you people to turn on your video as well, so that I can check on your dressing style, your speaking skill, your attitude. Not only right now, since you are not visible to me, your speaking skill is only coming into picture. Okay, but during your real GDs, when you appear for a real GD, okay, for an interview round or for getting shortlisted in for some higher studies, when you appear for those GDs, that would be a face-to-face one. Okay, so during that GD, these things are to be taken into consideration. Number one is your dressing style, because your positive personality is the first and foremost impression that you normally give to the evaluators. What is your first and foremost impression? Not only your physical appearance. Now, it does not depend. A person who looks very good or a lady who looks very beautiful is properly decked up, or a man or a boy entering the room with very smart dressing and all those things, with all gel setting in their hair. That is not going to have all the impression. Yes, that will have some good impression as far as the dressing style is concerned. But your overall attitude, your overall positive attitude is what is to be taken into consideration. Those 25 or 30 minutes that you will be allotted, like 25 or 30 minutes, I'm not talking about every individual. Since it's a group discussion, a total group of maybe 5 or 10 members, whatever number of members you are, the total number of people, your total time that would be allotted to your group would be maximum 25 to 30 minutes. Within that time span, your overall attitude, your overall speaking style with proper confidence, how you are presenting the topic, what is your content, whether you are grammatically correctly speaking your English or not, whether your pronunciations are good, whether you are using proper voice modulation intonation. If you remember in the first class, I even talked about listening skill when I gave you the notes. Even you should have a proper listening skill. It is not that I have prepared my portion and I'm not going to listen to the members who had spoken before me. That is why repeatedly, if you remember, I told you people while training you people that whatever the member, whatever the person who had spoken before you had said, you need to draw a continuation to his or her content, and then you are supposed to attach your content to the person's content who had spoken before you. Clear? So that is what is also going to be taken into consideration among the positive personality, because the impression that you will have at the initial stage with your presentation, your speaking skill, you should not fumble, you should not stammer, you should not show your anxiety, you should not show your nervousness when you are speaking. Clear? And dressing style does not mean that you will have your hair spiked, you will have your sleeves rolled up to this. No, those things are not accepted. When you are appearing for a GD or any interview, you should not have your shirt sleeves rolled up. Keep that in mind. Your dressing style means you should have your proper hair should be properly combed. Your shirt sleeves should be properly unfolded and buttoned. You should not have your first button open. You should have all the buttons properly tied along with a tie that you should wear. Your shoes should be polished. You should not have those fancy shoes that you normally wear. Don't wear those fancy shoes. So these are the dressing style that you should keep in mind. Speaking style, already I told you people, you should be confident. Even if you are anxious or shaky or nervous, that should not be visible through your speaking. That should remain hidden. Okay. Attitude towards others means you should not argue. Yes, the last week I talked about types of topics. If you remember, I talked about controversial topics. You remember where I told you that in the controversial topics, there is always a scope for argument, because controversial topics are deliberately given to the participants so that we can judge their credibilities to speak. Okay, so that is also to be taken into consideration. Your attitude towards others, you should be very patient. You should lend your ears, you should be patient towards them, hear them properly, and then you should put your point of view. Clear? Then your presentation style. In your presentation style, there should not be a hint of argument at all. This is a GD, it's not a debate. Whatever you are presenting should be very polite. Okay, that is what we are talking about here. Your presentation style should be very polite and formal. Keep it in mind, you cannot talk anything under the sun. It is not that whatever you feel like you are just going to speak. No, you are not going to speak anything which is out of the way. You will have to speak in a very formal manner, keeping in mind the things that you need to put forward. You can mix your own experience, yes. Formal does not mean whatever is written in Google, you have to just mug it up and speak. Definitely, you should use your own experience. You can add on to some experience stories while you are presenting, but that should be a very formal one. Clear? Then a pleasing personality makes a favorable impression, means your personality should be very polite, should be very gentleman-like. That is what I'm trying to say. You should be a very gentleman-like persona when you are appearing for this GD. If you want to score over others, if you want to be a higher scorer as compared to the rest of the participants, you should be having these qualities in mind. Yeah? Now I will go to the second point, that is communication skill. Write down communication skill. Write down group discussion. Group discussion are an effective tool. Sorry, right, just write down, by mistaking I said, just write down, cut that line and write, the key to an effective group discussion, the key to an effective group discussion lies in the ability, the key to an effective group discussion lies in the ability to communicate effectively through both through both one's verbal and non-verbal skills, through both one's ONE apostrophe S, okay, one's verbal and non-verbal skills. Full stop. One needs to express the ideas. One needs to express the ideas and opinions logically and with clarity. Full stop. Brilliant ideas and sound knowledge, brilliant ideas and sound knowledge are of little use unless they are expressed properly. Full stop. One needs to possess, one needs to possess good oratory skills, good oratory, ORATORY, good oratory skills with a sound vocabulary. Full stop. Besides being a good speaker, underline this. One needs to be a good listener. Underline this. As I told you just now, I told you while I explained you the fact. One needs to be a good listener. Underline this. Because in a group discussion, one needs to speak keeping in mind what has been or is being said by others. Full stop. So before I proceed again, I will tell you about this particular point which I discussed. What is it saying? It is saying that the key to an effective group discussion lies in the ability to communicate. Underline this word communicate in the very first line. This means that if you want to be a successful participant, if you want to score at a higher scale while you are taking part in a GD, what you need to keep in mind is your effective communication skill. What is meant by that? Means you should be able to make things very clear when you are expressing. That means when you are putting forward your viewpoint, there should not be a sense of doubt. That means when you are speaking and you are trying to express your views, you should be very open regarding your expression. Very open regarding your expression means you should know what to speak and what not to speak. That method of communication needs to be very clear. If I give you a topic, for example, I'm putting this right like this for you. If I give you a topic and I say that you are supposed to speak on position of women in Indian society, that is your topic for GD. If I give you such a topic, when you communicate through your content, that communication should not only highlight only the positive situation, your communication should be multifaceted. That means your communication should cover all the relevant points that comes under the sun about the position of women. That also refers to the point that not only you will be giving the current scenario, you need to communicate to your communicate to your listeners about the historical facts as well. So your communication should be very clear so that whoever is listening to you, whoever is listening to you is able to understand all the aspects of the position of women. Understood? That means you are not only going to be highlighting on one particular area, you will have to highlight, you will have to bring up the content where all the areas of a particular topic is going to be highlighted. Your communication should be that much clear. Secondly, it is talking about the fact that communication is not only verbal communication, it also includes non-verbal communication as well. Now, what do I mean by non-verbal communication? By non-verbal communication, I mean to say that verbal communication only includes your speaking capability, your content, your methodology of speaking, your confidence. Non-verbal communication means your eye contact, your body language, your dressing sense, your hand gestures. Okay, all these include your non-verbal skills. Means I will give you a very simple example to explain this. If a participant taking part in a GD while speaking, let us think about our PD lab. In that PD lab, how the seats are being placed. on one side where there is that computer desktop, the teacher sits, and you people sit on those benches, underneath that AC or all those benches. Now, while this GD, during our physical classes, how did we organize the GDs? We used to call 5 members, and you people used to come to the dais near that whiteboard, and all of you used to gather the chairs and sit, and then you took part in your GD. That was how you used to uh, how you used to organize, if you remember. Now, for example, the person, those who are here near the whiteboard sitting on the chair, and for example, in group A, if all of you while speaking, instead of looking at the teacher and instead of looking at the audience, all of you tend to look downstairs. All of you tend to look like towards the floor. How you people will be looking? Like what kind of body language or what kind of non-verbal skill would you portray? You would portray a non-verbal skill which would be a sign of lack of confidence. Very unimpressive way of speaking. Even if you speak very well, even if your content is very good, if your body language is improper and you look here and there instead of looking at the audience, instead of looking at the teacher or the evaluator or the selector, you will be marked down on your non-verbal communication skill. Another thing, if you dress up with all your shirt sleeves rolled up, your first button open, no tie, your socks coming out of your sleeves of your trouser with no belt, then also that would be a very unprofessional communication that you are trying to give to us. So your communication should be very formal. Your non-verbal communication skills also holds a lot of importance. Then one needs to express the ideas and opinions logically with clarity. Means when you are speaking, your content or your expression should be very logical. Just by saying 2 plus 2 is 4, just by saying that 2 plus 2 is 4, ma'am, that is what is 2 plus 2. If you say like that, we will not take your explanation as a very logical one. You have to give me the logic behind that. Understood what I'm trying to say? 2 plus 2 is 4, we all know. We all know dowry system is a negative thing, which is an evil practice in the society. But you have to give us, when you are taking part in a GD, you will have to give us the logic behind that evil thing. Why is it evil? So your content should be logical. Underline this, logical and with clarity. Clear? Next is brilliant ideas and sound knowledge are of little use unless it is expressed properly. For example, there are experienced this with few of the batches. There are students, who are very creative, who have a lot of creative thoughts, brilliant ideas and creative thoughts. They are knowledgeable, but they cannot express. You will see there are a lot of, even if you might have also experienced this, you might also have friends who are very shy to publicly come up and speak their mind, but sitting at the last bench or sitting at the back bench, they might help their friends. They might give the idea to their friends, and the friends will stand up and they will respond to the teacher. You also might have such friends, but that will not help, because during a GD or during a debate or any public speaking, basically I'm talking about public speaking. Any kind of public speaking, even if you have brilliant ideas, you might be a very knowledgeable guy, where you must be a person who had read numerous books and all, but you are very shy and you are very shaky to speak in front of a room of 10 people or a room of 50 odd members. That will not help, my dear. You have to be open. You have to speak. That is why repeatedly, whenever any of your friend during my GD classes says that, ma'am, I'm not prepared, I can't speak, I always make it a point to push you that no, again you start speaking, so that from the beginning, if he or she again starts, maybe a bit of confidence he or she might acquire. Clear? So that should always be in your mind. One needs to possess good oratory skill with a sound vocabulary. Now, this is something which all of you might not have. So, I saying that you should have this skill becomes a bit derogatory because all might not have the same range of vocabulary, same range of oratory skill. All of you might not have it. I can understand, but you have to try. Even you might not be a very good orator, you might not be a good speaker, but that does not mean you cannot speak. Even you might, maybe there might be one particular speaker speaking very well, but that does not mean another 5 of the members will be keeping their mouth shut. That is not permissible. You have to speak. Whether you are a good orator or not, that does not matter. You have to speak and practice. Last but not the least, in this point, I talked about not only being a good speaker, you have to be a good listener as well. What do I mean by that? As I told you just now, few minutes back, I told you, you should be a good listener also in a GD. Means if you're, if the member who had spoken before you had established a point, you are not supposed to say the same point again. Keep this in mind, put this in your head. You might have done that in my first class. I had considered, since that was the first assessment. During the second assessment, few of the members I considered those who appeared for the first time, because there were certain members who did not join the first classes and had given the assessment, second assessment as their first one. I still considered them. But from the third assessment onwards, I would be a bit strict while the marking is concerned. Because if member A, for example, in group A, if Shorjo had spoken, I'm just giving a random example, okay? I don't remember if Shorjo is in first group and Shuheshna is in second group. I don't remember. I just have these names in my mind, so I'm giving you this example. For example, if Shorjo in group A, Shuheshna in group A had spoken 2 topics, in that group, if Shaista is also there, Shaista is not supposed to speak the same point which is already spoken by Shuheshna or Shorjo. So that is why listening skill becomes very important here. If you don't listen to your members, if you don't listen to your partners properly, definitely you will be making this mistake. Because if you only concentrate on what is my portion of speaking, what will I speak, if you just mug it up, learn, and you just not pay your ear or not pay a hit to the rest of the members speaking before you, you will make this mistake. And if you make this mistake in the third assessment, then automatically I will have to mark you down. Clear? So these are the points about communication skill. Now tell me, till now, whatever I discussed, positive personality, communication skill, till now, is there any confusion? Before I proceed to the third point, is there any confusion?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes. Is there any confusion before I proceed? Till now, I discussed about positive personality and communication skill. In those 2 points, whatever I discussed and explained, do you have
Yeah.
any confusion? Any one of you?
Ma'am, I'm Sakib. Am I audible to you?
Yeah, Sakib, audible.
Okay, so ma'am, as you said that we cannot repeat what the earlier person has already said, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So in our case, if this is the case, then the person who is speaking late, I mean
Hmm.
speaking
The
in
first one,
the
the first member who starts the topic.
yeah, so he will get an advantage that he don't need to listen to everyone, right?
No,
He
no, no.
can
What I'm
speak
trying
whatever
to
he
say,
has prepared, but
no.
the
What
next person,
Yes. No, no, no. You did not understand this properly. I'm trying to say that, for example, yes, definitely, the first person who had spoken will not be liable. That is what you are trying to say, will not be liable to what the others are saying, because that first person will be having uh, a scope of
yeah. Ma'am,
having a
basically, I'm
scope of
trying to
not
say is
listening
that
to others.
uh,
Yes.
he will get an advantage
No,
That
that is I would tell you what that is why I told you that in the third assessment there would be a bit of change what we had in the first two rounds. That's why I told you, first of all, the video should be on. I will also make it a point. I have this in mind. I would also make it a point, whoever opens, even though there is no group leader. If you remember last week, we discussed about few methods of group discussion where I told that group discussion by a nominated leader. If you remember that point, we discussed already. If you were there in the last class, I told you that we as moderators do not choose any group leader. That is not right, but whoever starts the topic will have to end the discussion as well. That rule I will already make. That I did not make today because when I will take the assessment, before that I would have said that already. In the third round, whoever will open, so that that person, whether that person has listened to all the members or not, that person will have to give a concluding speech as well. That would be a rule. Now, Sakib, what I tried to say by this point is that by repeating, I'm saying, for example, if one of the member had already spoken about, when we talk about women rights, for example, if I give that topic, if one member had already talked about the position of Dalit women, the sexual abuse happening. If you have seen that movie, Article 35041 or 371, I don't remember the name. In that movie, torture of Dalit women, that particular concept is highlighted. Okay. Now, if somebody in your group talks about that issue, about that position of Dalit women, when we talk about women rights in India, I'm saying that if member B or C had already given you that point of Dalit women, if member D speaks about the same thing again on Dalit women, talks about something about Dalit women, that is not accepted. You can highlight other areas. Did you understand what I'm trying to say?
yes, ma'am. So now
Hmm.
my question is that
Hmm.
if I mean uh, the people who are speaking lately in the group
Hmm.
discussion
Hmm.
will get very less. I mean the very less um, category of
No, they will not. That is why, that is why this group division has been made. You already know your group members, right? That is why I give you time to even discuss. So while you are discussing with your group members, that understanding should be there in the group, that if I decide to speak on this particular aspect, my another member of the same group will talk about another aspect, so that it does not coincide. See, there are some points which will match. That is, you cannot change that. There are certain facts and figures. For example, if we take out some data while we are giving a group discussion presentation, if we take out some data from internet and if we present that data also during our GD, that will definitely, that can match. I have no problem with that. That is why, that's why, if you remember, every week I'm not changing the group. Normally, there is a chance, or there are teachers who might reshuffle the groups week after week, but this confusion happens. Since you already know your group members, when you formally arrange for a GD, you are getting one whole week time. Divide the content among those 5 or 6 or 7 members, whoever are there in your group, so that the points does not coincide or match. Understood? Now there might be certain points which might match, certain points which might be repeated. That will be taken into consideration as an evaluator. I will judge that whether that point is appreciable or not, that will be left to the evaluator, but try to make it as clear as possible so that same points are not repeated twice or thrice. Understood what I'm saying? Did you understand, Sakib? Yes, Sakib, did you hear me, Sakib? Did you understand what I said?
hello,
Sakib, you are not audible. I'm not been able to hear you now.
hello.
Yes, Sakib, yeah. Your voice is coming very slow.
Hello.
Sakib, you're not audible. I think there is some network error at your end. Okay, Sakib, I'm proceeding with the next point. Since you're not audible, once your net connection is back, you can come up with your question again. Okay, I will be answering you. Okay, point number 3 is sound knowledge and awareness level. That is point number 3. Sound knowledge and awareness level. I will just explain you once again. The question that Sakib pointed out is a very valid question. He said that the person who will be speaking at the beginning, that person will be always having an advantage, because that person will not have the liability or will not be burdened with this listening skill part, ma'am. Definitely, that is something which should come up to your mind, because if I am speaking at the last, then definitely I would be all the liable person. No, that will not happen. I will not be that partial towards the beginner, towards the speaker in the beginning. Whoever from the third round or from fourth, fifth, whatever rounds I go ahead, as I told you. Now this week the topics which I had given are all abstract topics. Abstract topics, there is a very good advantage in abstract topics. Normally in abstract topics, the chance of being very creative happens, because what is there in your mind will be spoken to you. You will not get all the relevant data from your internet. You will have to make up something on your own as well. Now the moment you start making up your own content, uh, then what happens is you will automatically be more original, and that chance of getting into some conflict will not happen. Now, I just saw the question which Sakib had to say, that there might be an unnecessary conflict among the group members, that I will be speaking at the beginning. That conflict will not happen, because the person, whoever opens, that person will be the one to end as well. I mean, if there are, for example, I will just tell you based on the group. Till now, the group members of group A, there are 13 members, okay, including Rajshri, Pammi Kumari. I would check the updated name as well, if there is any new member also joining. So there are 13 members. For example, in my list, the first member is Sridipta Mondol. Of group A, the first member is Sridipta. Now, when Sridipta is opening the GD, that does not mean that Sridipta's all liability or all responsibility ends, and he or she can just sit and chill while Pritha speaks, or while Prithviraj is speaking, or Ritika is speaking. No, if Sridipta Mondol has started or has begun, then as per the rule, after Pammi Kumari finishes off her content, her speech, Sridipta Mondol is supposed to end, summing up all the points which had been spoken by rest of the members, including his or her own point. Is it clear? Now is it clear to you, Sakib? So as per the rule, that will be followed for group A, for group B, for group C. Similarly, for group B also, if Shoujo starts his presentation at the beginning, then it is the responsibility. Now that is what I am giving you the advantage here. Now you people might decide who will start. But whoever takes that chance of starting, for example, that is up to you. That is, I will not put any pressure on you people that no, I want this person, this boy or this girl to start. I will not give that pressure to you people. It is up to you. You people decide among yourselves, you people decide among your friends, and the person who decides that ठीक है मैं start करूंगी या मैं start करूंगा, whoever thinks that he or she is confident, that person might start. But keep it in mind, whoever is starting, that person will have to give a total summing up at the end also. Means starting and concluding will be done by that particular person. Summing up means whatever the rest of the members had spoken, I will give you a tip so that the person opening might not feel nervous. When the rest of the, for example, if Shoujo starts for group A, Shoujo, what you will do in that case is, after you, if Shriporna, Snehil, Shomnath, these people speaks, just note down their points. When they are speaking, keep a paper in front of you, note down whatever they had spoken, give their name, first name initial, and just note down 1 2 3 4 point, not sentences. When you end, when you sum up and give a concluding speech, just highlight on all those points. That's it. It's very simple. It is not a rocket science. Clear? Now I will give you the third point: sound knowledge and awareness level. Write
Hello,
down
ma'am.
the. Yes,
Somnath here. Ma'am, I
yes,
had a
Shomna.
question that, yeah,
Yes.
there might be some things means there is 13 odd members in the GD, then there might not have some 13 points in that topic. In
No, no,
that
that
case,
is what I'm
if
saying.
two of the
13
group
point.
members are
Hmm.
elaborating a same point on different perspective, then it
Not a
will be okay,
problem.
right?
Very good. No, no, very good. That will definitely be appreciated. If you elaborate, see, elaboration, by that I mean to say, when you are elaborating, automatically your own experience, your own content comes up. There is, you have no scope of copying. Your topic, or your maybe if you talk about the same concept, for example, 13 members, 13 different ideas cannot come up. I agree to it, but your individual touch should be there. Whatever, Shomnath, you are speaking, if in your group Saurabh,
Yeah, it
Kundu,
might be different from others. It should
yes,
have
definitely.
some bit of uniqueness in them.
Yes, that uniqueness is what I'm asking for. Understood? I'm telling
Okay,
that
ma'am.
same thing should not be spoken again and again. If somebody is highlighting on uh, maybe the historical fact of women, when we talk about women empowerment or women position, if somebody talks about the historical point of how women were treated, starting from that sati pratha and all, if somebody highlights that point, definitely if somebody talks about sati pratha, it is not mandatory that I would stop someone from the same group if he or she highlights on other historical aspect also. Definitely you can highlight that historical aspect, but yes, you should not talk about sati pratha again. Understood what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
বুঝতে পারলি? আমি কি বলছি আরেকবার আমি বাংলায় ভালো করে বলে দিচ্ছি। কেউ যদি সতীদাহ প্রথা নিয়ে কথা বলে, ফর এক্সাম্পল, দ্যাট পারসন, সেটা একটা হিস্টোরিক্যাল অ্যাসপেক্ট উমেন সম্পর্কে, সেই হিস্টোরিক্যাল অ্যাসপেক্টটাকে, সেম হিস্টোরিক্যাল অ্যাসপেক্ট আরেকজন যদি একই গ্রুপে আবার সেই সতী প্রথা নিয়ে কথা বলে, সেইটা কিন্তু নেগেটিভ মার্কিং হবে। কিন্তু হিস্টোরিক্যাল আরো অনেক অ্যাসপেক্ট আছে উইমেনদের রিলেটেড। হিস্টোরিক্যাল অ্যাসপেক্টে একজন একটা পয়েন্ট বলে দিয়েছে মানে আরেকটা ছেলে বা মেয়ে আরো কিছু হিস্টোরিক্যাল পয়েন্ট বলবে না এমন নয়। তবে হ্যাঁ, কেউ যদি সতী প্রথা বলে থাকে, আরেকজন যদি সেম গ্রুপে সতী প্রথা নিয়ে শুরু করে দেয়, সেইটা চলবে না। আন্ডারস্টুড?
Yes.
হুম, ওকে। Okay, now third point: sound knowledge and awareness level. Write down the participants' knowledge and general awareness is another major ingredient for a successful group discussion. Full stop. The participant needs to have originality in his or her ideas. Underline this, then I will explain you again. Participants needs to have originality in his or her ideas. Underline this whole sentence. In his or her ideas. That is, he should hold his own viewpoint and have considerable depth of knowledge. Now the sentence which I will tell you, you will have to underline that as well. Lack of knowledge and ideas may lead to repetition and monotony. Underline this whole sentence. Lack of knowledge and ideas may lead to repetition and monotony. Underline this sentence. Full stop. This is not a desirable aspect this is not a desirable aspect, and one may go against and this may go just right and this may go against one's success. Full stop. So what are the two lines that you underlined in this point? Now I'm sure it would be a bit more clear to you based on whatever we just now discussed, the question that you had in your mind. I think now this point will be a bit more lucid and a bit more elaborate to answer your questions. What did I say? I said that there are two lines which I asked you to underline. That is, the participants needs to have originality in his or her idea. By if you do not have originality in each of your ideas, then there would be a chance of repetition and monotony. That means you need to be, as I just now when I was answering the question for Shomnath, I think I answered the question. It was Shomnath who asked one question. When I was answering him, I hope the things got a bit clear to you by this point, that when you express or when you put forward your content, there should be a touch of originality. Means your perspective should be different, should be unique to the perspective which had been put forward by maybe another member of the same group. By what I meant by the last point is this: there should be an in-depth knowledge on the topic regarding which you are speaking. That is why I give you one whole week to make a research work. Normally during actual GDs, let me tell you, as we proceed further, right now I'm giving you one whole week time to prepare, but originally when we conduct GDs, you are only given 10 to 15 minutes to prepare yourself among your groups. So after our third round of assessment, from the fourth round onwards, I would make it that kind. Okay, I will not give you 1 week. During the class itself, I would give you a topic and I would give you 15 minutes time to prepare yourself, to discuss among your group members on your own, and then you will be starting with your speech, or you would be starting with your content. Yeah. So that originality is what we are looking forward to. We are looking into the original, creative, rational, in-depth knowledge which is spoken by. So we will be, as an evaluator, that is what, or that are the areas which we are going to mark a candidate. We will be marking a candidate based on how original, how in-depth and original his or her idea is. And if we give you abstract topic, if we give you contradictory topics, because we can give you those topics. Already I discussed with you in the last class what are the different types of topics that we can give. If we give you such topic, what we would be looking into is how original is your content, how clearly you are able to express your point of view, and how creative is your point of view. The more you research, the more in depth your knowledge is, you will be able to present it in a better manner. That repetition and monotony needs to be avoided. That should be kept in mind. Clear? Point number 4, ability to coordinate. Ability to coordinate. Write it down. The participants' ability to coordinate. The participants' ability to coordinate the team and work in harmony with others is another ingredient for success in group discussion. Now underline this statement. I think this statement now will be answering to what Saqib had a question. Saqib said that, man, that would be creating contradiction, that would be creating unnecessary complication among the group members regarding who will be speaking in the beginning and who will be ending. There can be a kind of argument. That is what Saqib highlighted. Now, Saqib, this line, this statement is a answer to your question, which states that the participants' ability to coordinate the team and work in harmony with others is another ingredient that leads to a successful GD. Now, if you remember the first class, when I discussed about what is GD, those first class notes, already during that class notes, if you just have that notes, you can all go through that. I mentioned the point about leadership skills. Now, leadership skills, while I explained that point, I repeatedly said by this leadership skill, I do not mean to say that I would be appointing one leader as your group leader. I said that during a GD, every member in that group is a leader all by himself or herself. You are a leader by your own. If there are 13 members in the group, each of the 13 boy or girl, each of the members in the group are leaders by themselves. By that I mean to say, all of you will be equally responsible for creating the harmony, for maintaining the harmony, for being at the same page. Because ultimately, the aim of a GD, unlike a debate, aim of a GD is to bring down a solution to the topic. We are supposed to reach a set goal. It is not a debate where we are supposed to express or put our point of view as a superior one. In debate, our aim is always to present our point of view as correct one, as a superior one, and negate others. In group discussion, that is not our aim. In group discussion, our aim is to be at the same page. Our aim is to make all of the people agree to the same point so that whoever will be ending the topic, giving us the concluding speech, the person who is starting will be ending the concluding speech. That person can give us a total summation of the point gathered with a proper solution. So that harmony, originality, keeping in mind the originality, keeping in mind the clarity, keeping in mind the in-depth knowledge, all these should be kept in mind. There should not be any repetition. Along with that, all the members should be at the same page, maintaining harmony. It is the participants' ability that is also going to be taken into consideration, whether the participants have a tendency of arguing or getting aggressive. Those aggressive nature, all these things will be marked as a negative aspect. Clear? Full stop. After that, write cooperation and positive contribution. Cooperation and positive contribution towards the discussion. Cooperation and positive contribution towards the discussion are vital. Full stop. One must display the ability to take control of the discussion without operating to be dominating. So what we said lastly, that while you are into this group discussion, one must not be that dominating bossy kind. Everyone should get equal chance to speak. Everyone should get their amount of time to speak. It is not that if I am a good speaker, I would be taking more than 5 minutes. I would speak for 10 minutes and rest of my team members will get 5 minutes, 3 minutes time. Because each group will be getting max to max 25 minutes. Okay, so today I'm telling this categorically, since already in the notes I already mentioned that next week when I will be taking the GD, in group A there are 13 members, in group B already there are 15 members, in group C there are 14 members till now. Addition subtraction will be there, whoever joins in or is not present, whatever, every group will be getting 25 minutes max to max. So when you discuss among your group members based on the topic that you got, you will have to prepare your content, your speech in such a way that within 25 minutes to max within 30 minutes, your speech is over. Every member should speak for minimum 5 minutes. I have seen there are few members who shy away, who do not want to speak much. For them, I'm telling this to you specifically, only speaking for 1 or 2 minutes and just finishing off as early as possible will not be very helpful. You have to speak for 5 minutes. Okay, with proper introduction, with proper greeting, with proper introduction, you have to start. Clear? Now we will cover the next topic for today. As I told you, I will cover two topics today. One topic already is finished. Today, the second topic of discussion for us would be, just give the heading as okay, take down this is these are certain points which I will give you. I think these points, if you keep these points in mind step by step, it would be easier for you to practically deal with the GD. I'm giving you stepwise. How does we climb a staircase? How do we climb a staircase? We climb a staircase with covering steps, one step after that the second step. In this way we climb staircase. Yes, there are, you people are young enough, very energetic, especially the boys. You people rather jump. I've seen in the college when you people climb the staircase or jump the staircase and you people are late for your class, you people normally have a tendency of jumping 2 stairs. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about general climbing of stairs. Similarly, when you take part in a GD, these are basically, there are certain steps like a staircase. If you follow those steps, you're getting more marks, like getting marks becomes much more easier. Okay, So I will give you those steps first. These are all point wise, so you can give bullet marks and you can write these points. Then I will take your attendance. Take down. Just give the heading as there are many possible purposes. There are many possible purposes for a group discussion. Full stop. Give the introduction as start like this. Many group discussions. Many group discussions have no specific purposes. Many group discussions have no specific purposes except the exchange of ideas, except the exchange of ideas and opinions. Full stop. Ultimately, an effective group discussion is one in which many different ideas and viewpoints are heard and considered. Full stop. This allows the group to accomplish its purpose. This allows the group to accomplish its purpose if it has one or to establish a basis or to establish a basis either for ongoing discussion or for further contact and collaboration among its members. Full stop. The points are, now you can give bullet marks and write. Bullet number one. Point number one, create a new situation. Create a new situation. Put a hyphen and write, form a coalition. Form a coalition. Start an initiative, etc. Form a coalition, start an initiative, etc. Point number two, explore cooperative, or collaborative arrangements among groups or organizations. Full stop. Point number 3. Discuss or analyze an issue. Discuss or analyze an issue with no specific goal in mind but understanding. Discuss or analyze an issue with no specific goal in mind but understanding. Next point, point number 4. Create a strategic plan. Create a strategic plan. Point number 5. Eradicate the difference among individuals or groups. Eradicate the difference among individuals or groups. Next point, resolve any conflict if occurs. Resolve any conflict if occurs. Provide mutual support among the group members. And next point is plan the total presentation of the GD with an achievable solution at the end of your presentation. Full stop. Change the paragraph and write down. Effective group discussion. Give this heading. Give the heading as effective group discussion. Write down the literal definition of a group discussion is obvious that is a critical conversation about a particular topic or perhaps a range of topics conducted in a group. Full stop. An effective group discussion might have group members of 8 or more, means 7, 8, that category of 8 or more means not less than 7, 8, okay? Of 8 or more discussing about a set of topic with a facilitator, whether formal or informal, with a facilitator, whether formal or informal, ensuring an effective outcome by the end of the GD. Okay, now I will take your attendance, okay, before ending this. I would just take your attendance and then I will just end the call. Before I end the call, I will just tell you the procedure and the parameters on which Krishna, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Shuheshna, the names which I would be calling you, just take down their attendance. Okay, you just mark there, because if you have the things, I will call out the name. Just mark the names, those who are present, and those who are not present, just mark them absent. If they have informed you regarding, because I'm sure you have that list of how many of them were busy in that exam and all. Some of them might have joined, because I can see there are 45 members already there who have joined. So I'm sure most of them might have joined, because Pritha is there, I can see. Some of them might have also joined. So in that case, just take down their names, okay? I'm just calling out the names. Firdos Rubina.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now few members are here. Just a moment. Who do not have any ID out? Just a moment. Momita Sharkar, those names which are visible to me, I will call out their names first.
Yes,
Momita.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Hello. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Wait. My phone again hang. Okay. Momita Sharkar, Sridipta Mandol.
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Pritha Zamindar. Yes, I can hear you. Pritha Zamindar.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Prithviraj Nandan.
Yes, ma'am.
Priyanka Bhandari. Priyanka Bhandari. Priyanka Bhandari. Pammi Kumari. Pammi Kumari.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it Priyanka or Pammi? Who responded?
Ma'am, Pammi Kumari.
Pammi Kumari. Okay. Rahul Kumar. Rahul Kumar.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Rajshri.
Present, ma'am.
Rakhi Kumari. Rakhi Kumari. Rishabh Ghoshal. Those who will not respond, they will be marked absent. So please respond. Listen to your name and respond.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Rakhi Kumari. Rakhi Kumari.
yes, ma'am. Rakhi Kumari.
Okay. Rishabh Ghoshal.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ritika.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Shoimonti Paul.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Shanghita Bhattacharya.
Yes, ma'am.
Sanjukta Mitra. Sanjukta Mitra. Saqib Jalal. Saqib Jalal.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sarika Pandey.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Shaista Shams.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sharon Shinjini.
Yes, ma'am.
Shoptik Dasgupta.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Shaista Tabassum.
Yes, ma'am.
Shorjo Roy. Shorjo Roy. Shorjo Roy. Sriparna Ghosh.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Sneha.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Somnath Chatterjee. Somnath Chatterjee.
Yes, ma'am.
Shobhajit Banerjee.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Shomen Mondal.
Present, ma'am.
Shomili Rokhit.
Present, ma'am.
Saurav Kundu.
Yes, ma'am.
Saurav Tiwari.
Yes, ma'am.
Shorik Prakash Kobi.
Yes, ma'am.
Spondita. Spondita. Spondita Ghosh. Shubhankar Kormokar.
Yes, ma'am.
Shuheshna Basu.
Present, ma'am.
Sumit Kumar.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. अच्छा, rules which I told saying that anyone else may go anyone else name I did not call it and is there in the call itself. Due to power cut, my phone is like due to network issue, it's getting hanged again and again. So is there anyone else whose name I did not call but is present in the call?
Ma'am, I am present. Taufikur Rahman.
Tawfiqur Rahman. Shashna, please
Ma'am,
add.
well,
Hello,
Wait,
ma'am.
wait.
hello,
Ma'am,
ma'am. This is
All
Soud.
of you,
Hello,
if you
ma'am. This
speak
is
together,
Soudjo. But I was speaking, but your voice was getting muted. That's why I could not get connected to you.
okay,
The
okay.
call.
Okay, so
Ma'am,
should we
myself
just
Shubham
talk to
Chakraborty, you doing?
Tawfiq?
Hello.
Ma'am,
That's what.
ma'am, myself.
Ma'am, Zeba Talat. Ma'am,
Ma'am,
Surya
Said Rayhan
Shah.
Afzal.
Will you
Sorry.
people let me finish a bit? After Sumit Kumar, Shushmita Mukherjee is present.
Yes, ma'am.
Shubham Chakraborty,
Yes, ma'am.
Swecha Nahar,
Present, ma'am.
Raihan Afzal,
Yes, ma'am.
Tawfiqur.
Yes, ma'am.
Only Zeba Talat's name is not called, right? Zeba Talat.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Shuheshna, those names which I called at the end, just mark their attendance also, mark them present. Now I have one
Ma'am.
thing. It's Rehan
Hello,
Afzal.
ma'am.
Wait. Sayyid Rehan Afzal. Rehan Afzal, what happened to you last week? You were showing online. When I called your name repeatedly for your assessment, you did not speak a single word and you did not even respond. So I had to mark you 0. I told, even I repeatedly told, where were you, Rehan, last week? You were showing online, but you did not
Sorry,
respond.
ma'am. I was busy in some other works, ma'am.
Hmm?
Sorry, ma'am. I was busy in some other works. That's why I could not attend your class.
But you were showing online, so if you are online, you are supposed to attend the class, isn't it? If you are just,
Yeah, of
if you
course.
connect yourself and you do other work, will that be a very justified thing? You tell me.
No, ma'am.
If,
Absolutely no, ma'am.
like, for example, if I connect for ECE batch 1, 7 sem, and if I sit and if I chat with my friend, and I just connect the call and I just say that, no, I have taken the class, I have connected the call, and even just take attendance and ask you people, will that be a very justified concept? Right? It will be, right? So don't do
Yes,
that.
ma'am.
First time you have done it, Rehan, I considered it, but this should not happen ever. If you are not in the class, then don't join the call. You will be marked absent. If you join the call, you are supposed to be in the class and you are supposed to keep yourself active and listen to the class. Whatever notes is being given, whatever class lecture is being given, whatever assessment is happening, you should be
Absolutely, ma'am.
active there. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So attendance, now if I have missed out any particular student's attendance and is there in the call, I have already taken the screenshot. Even Shuheshna, you also take the screenshots once, those who are there in the call. In case if we have missed out due to my power cut, there is like the phone is not responding. So in case I have missed out some name which is not visible here, please take the screenshot from your end, Shuheshna, as well, so that you can tally the, like, those who are online, just mark them present, and those who are not online, no need to give them the attendance. So and then send me the attendance report. Clear?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, Shwesha, so thank you everyone. Next week I will be taking the assessment. So Shweshna, please make sure everyone is present. Next week I will not delay the assessment anymore. Whichever student will be there, I will take their assessment. Whoever will be there, and those who will be not participating, they will be marked absent. No reassessment will be taken. So it is your responsibility to find time, and only once in a week you are getting this opportunity of this class. So try to avail this opportunity. Clear? Thank you everyone. We will meet next week and we will continue with our assessment next week. Thank you all of you. You might disconnect the call. Then please print out the column.